Sverige, vi har ett resultat. This is Tom coming to you from Shanghai, and I'm back for another Eurovision reaction video. Semi-final number 1 of Melodi Grand Prix, the Swedish national final, is complete. We have 2 songs going direct to the finale and 2 songs going to Anna Hansen. Let's kiki! Okay, so today I'm going to be discussing the performances of all 7 songs. I'll talk a little bit what I thought about the production, the presenters as well, and then of course the results, which I wasn't particularly happy about. As always, if you want to skip to a certain part, you can use the timestamps down below. For me, Melodi Festival is the absolute benchmark for national finals. It seems to be quite polarizing. People either love it like me, or they love hating on it all Eurovision season. They never stop talking about it. But it's the only show that I can watch the whole way through and I don't need to skip parts. It's like they've actually realized that it's an entertainment show, and having all these really dull interviews doesn't actually add to the show. It's very quick and snappy. It's well produced. The songs are usually pretty decent quality, and I wouldn't say there's a massive variety, but there's enough of a variety that it's interesting. The 3 hosts, we had Linnea, Lina, and I think the guy was called David. So overall, I thought the hosts were really good. There was no Fab Freddy this year. Like, that was the total low moment in Melfest, was Fab Freddy's. Okay, I'm not going to post any videos from the show now because Melfest are very aggressive. They do give copyright strikes if you post anything from the show, so I'm not going to go down that avenue at all. First of all, I'm going to go through all 7 songs and give my impressions that I wrote down before I knew the results. Let's go through the songs. So first up was the Mamas. Their song was called Moves or Move. One of them was called Moves and one of them was called Move. Anyway, look, this didn't work for me. I've written down this is John Ludwig's 3rd single, not his 2nd single after Too Late for Love. This is the 3rd single. I don't know. It was just a bit blah. It was fine. Like, obviously it's easy listening. They bring a lot of attitude to the stage. They've got great voices. I was a little bit surprised that they weren't able to hit some of the high notes at the end, because I think of them as very vocally competent. So that was a little bit surprising. Their choreography was good. Their stage presence was good. They're very confident. It was a good opener to the show. But look, really, this song is so middle of the road. It's a bit blah. There's no way in hell that this would do well in Eurovision. I think this would be borderline qualifier, to be honest, especially in that first semi. Next up was Suzie P. She was giving some rapping. God, this was a little bit of a car crash. First of all, her costume, it looked a little bit like she was like a space waitress or something, or like a space teenager. It just didn't work. Her pants were too high and it made her look shorter and look squashed. She had her head up against the camera, so you're looking up her nose. She looked very nervous. The dancers were all much taller over and crowding over. It made her look like a child. It just so many things didn't work. And on top of that, it was like a rap song mixed with a little bit of singing. She's not really able to sing. She's obviously a great rapper. Overall, the song wasn't great. This was just a bit of a flop. Also, I've written, I don't know why they gave her a song called Moves, which inevitably is gonna, you feel like you're gonna have to dance in it, and she's obviously not very comfortable as a dancer, so I just don't really, there were some choices I don't really understand. Third up was Robin Bengtsson. Now, I was extremely excited for this because some of the Swedish journalists said that this was his best song ever, and this was definitely, like, this is a song that could do very well in Eurovision. So I was extremely excited. What a letdown. God, this song, I didn't find this interesting at all. I thought this was really blah. I do see how it sounds a little bit like Ed Sheeran, singer-songwriter. It sounded like a worse version of Franz's song from 2018, that real like easy-going repetitive beat. His shirt was awful. It looked droopy and sad. He wasn't hitting those falsetto notes at all. He was putting his hand up and singing falsetto. It just didn't work. Overall, it was confusing because I think of him as such a competent performer, and the performance really wasn't that competent. I really question sometimes how actually good a singer he is. He's quite good in a small vocal range, but if you go outside that vocal range, he stutters quite quickly. And the other thing is, I actually missed the last 30 seconds of the performance because I genuinely lost concentration. I started playing on my phone. So look, that's really not a good sign for me. This isn't his best entry for me by far. This is the 3rd best. Constellation Prize is my favorite. That's an amazing song from 2016. And then I Can't Go On, I also thought was a great song. I'm not sure if this is just more like a mainstream singer-songwriter thing that I don't really get. I don't listen to Ed Sheeran. I have like one of his songs. So maybe it's just that genre of music that I don't get, and actually it fulfilled that genre quite well. It went over my head, totally over my head. Okay, next up we have Malu. I'm a big fan of Malu. I liked her song last year, but between last year and now, she released a song called Left and Right. If you haven't heard it, I'll leave a link in the description. Check that out. It was a non-Melfest single, really fantastic. It was my top 2 off-season song behind Duncan Lawrence, Love Don't Hate It. Her performance was really great. She's got such presence. She's very young. I think she's 16 or 17. She totally commanded the stage. Her movements are really confident and she hits them really well. Great vocally, not wow, some iffy moments towards the end. Staging was great. We know that Ace Wilder was doing her staging. You could see Ace's fingerprint on that. It was very slick. They didn't go for the literal thing of having a ballerina, which is good. I was almost expecting that, and I'm glad that it didn't happen. They had a dancer who was mirroring her. It looked cool. The song, I think Malu deserves a little bit better. It's a bit dated. It's a bit basic. Still, I think that she pulled it off as much as you can do. Like if I was writing a song, I want something like Malu doing it, especially if it was a young feeling song. I definitely think that she's going to be a future representative for Sweden, but this song isn't strong enough to take her through to Rotterdam. Okay, next up was Orovo or Ovo. Look, not my type of music. I thought the performance was good. They pulled it off. The staging was kind of interesting. Just not for me, really. But nice to see a bit of variety in the competition. Next up, we have a girl, I don't even know what her name is. Tonya Alden. She was singing the annual slow, dull, Swedish white swoopy dress with a wind machine song. We have one of these every single year. As you can probably tell, I don't really feel it, but the song was fine. But it was a bit of a snooze fest for me. I wasn't massively interested. Oh yeah, it got 660,000 votes. You know, this is I'm not the target demographic for the song, so I understand why. This is very much aimed at kind of older generations. I'm sure there's a market for it. Last up was Felix Salmon. Now, I was unsure about this. I was a bit mixed about his last Melfest entry. I very much appreciated the quality of it. I never really liked the song, but I thought that he was extremely professional and competent in its delivery. So I was kind of excited, but my concern coming into this was that I like him, but I wasn't going to like the song again. I was also getting at the point where we were 6 songs in and I was like, I don't want to download any of these yet. I need a song I can download. This for me was another level. It was way up here and the other 6 were much farther down. This was so slick, polished, interesting, fresh. The whole performance was so put together. The words on his face, all his movements seemed really well performed. He overacted a little bit when he was doing like the crying and some bits. I thought that was maybe, it felt a little bit kind of like 1970s British, like grungy, a bit too much, and it kind of was, he just overacted a little bit, but I think he can pull that back a little bit. This was totally ready for Rotterdam. This was, for me, this was in a completely different league from the rest of the songs. I thought this was the type of quality that you get from like a Justin Bieber single. The pop drop was really cool, reminded me of Michaela from last year. All the visuals were great, the dancers were cool, the lighting was well done, all the camera effects, it got quite fast and choppy at the end. This whole thing was like perfect. Copy and paste, put this in Rotterdam. So yeah, you can probably tell I was a bit disappointed about where the results came. Now let's talk about the results. So first of all, we had the 5 songs that went through. No real surprises. We lost Orovo and Suzie P. Then we got to the first automatic qualifier, Robin Bengtsson. Now I'm sorry, that song, okay, maybe again it's this mainstream singer-songwriting thing, Ed Sheeran thing I'm not getting, but his performance alone was not good enough to get to the final. It was a bit boring. He wasn't able to sing the high notes. I just don't get this. Okay, so Robin went through. Look, I gotta admit, I was a bit disappointed with that. I didn't think it was deserved. I think he should have gone to Anders Hansen. I think he thought he should have gone to Anders Hansen based on the reaction on his face and his interview after the show. Then we had our Anders Hansen. Malu Pritz came through. So once I saw Robin was through, I kind of knew that Malu was going to be Anders Hansen. And then the second Anders Hansen, Felix Salmon. What the fuck? It's crazy to me. That song was so above the rest in terms of quality. Really confusing. I can only presume that he came third and it was a little bit close. But yeah, like I just do not get that at all. In the past, I've actually agreed quite a lot with Swedes, but lately, last year, I disagree with them on a lot of things. And this year already, my 2 directs and Anders Hansen's are swapped. I think that Felix and Malu should have gone through, and Anders Hansen should have been the Mamas and Robin Bengtsson. Okay, and then we had our final automatic qualifier. It was the Mamas. Again, I was very surprised. It was her against Sonia, so I was kind of thinking, I was like, wow, could Sonia really have won? I don't know, I can't see that happening. And then the Mamas went through, so it was good in that it built the tension, because I do think they were kind of surprised directive finale. Yeah, I don't know, that's just not really deserving for me. I don't know, it's weird because it almost feels like a Melfest reject song, but it's in Melfest. I'm just confused. I'm confused the whole thing. I would have flipped it around. So these were my results, and you can see the community results as well. Like overall, I thought it was an okay semi. On the plus side, I'm able to download Felix Salmon's song now, which I'm going to do. I'm pretty confident that he's going to come through enhanced. I think Malu will as well. I would not want to be up against either of those in the semi-final. So I'm very sure that Felix is going to come through. This might actually help him. Same thing last year when he was in Melfest. He was in Ander Hansen. He came through and he ended up coming second behind Benjamin and Grosso. So this could very much be, we've had someone win from Ander Hansen before, Robin Stairbury with you in 2013, I think. So it is possible. Obviously, we've still got 3 more semis left to hear, but he is already my number 1. I would be very happy for him to go to Rotterdam already, but let's see what's going to come up in the next weeks. So, what did you think about Melfest? Did you agree with the results? Please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you on another Eurovision reaction video very soon. Goodbye.